We're live. It is 3:07 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9:07 p.m. in the UK. It is the Nomad Tech Project with Sam and Joe coming to you live. The best podcast no one's ever heard of because we're just starting out. So we are live and coming to you in full quality. Not really, not even audio quality or even content, but we're trying. It's a work in progress. It's a project, right? Yeah. We're trying. How are you doing, sir? Welcome to the show. How are you doing this fine Sunday afternoon? Actually, in the UK, it would be Sunday evening.
It's been a funny week, a bit like our weather, up and down. I had some bad news Saturday. Sadly, my uncle passed away. Yeah, we're not even sure why or how. That was that morning. It was the morning of the wedding I went to. Weren't great, but it's one of those things.
Man, it's tough to hear, man. Especially when you aren't expecting somebody to pass away.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shocker. But good memories of him. Like, he's the reason I'm an Arsenal fan.
Okay, yeah.
So got a lot of love for him. Took me to my first Arsenal game.
Oh, yeah. So that's cool. Well, it's those are unfortunately when people pass. Like, man, when my mother passed away in 2020, you'd be surprised how you start to really think about, those little, like, hey, they took me to my first football match. They took me, when I was a kid, they bought me my first bicycle, right? And those kinds of things. So
yeah, you got to think of the good times.
Yeah. And with my mother, you have to kind of remember all the stuff that she did do was so great. Yeah. God love her. But, and the thing I worry more about with my mother is I don't want to forget what she sounds like. And I've talked to people who've had, parents that have passed away, older parents at 20 and 30 years later. They said that without a recording, they kind of forget what their parent sounds like, which is weird. I would never think you would forget what your mom and dad sound like. But if you don't hear their voice all the time, I can understand. So I saved some audio clips, and my daughter, of course, that was a grandmother. So she has all sorts of videos of my mom saying stuff and yelling at her and kind of stuff. But that's unfortunate, man. I'm sorry to hear that. It's not great.
Like I said, that I was at a wedding, so thankfully I had something positive to sort of take my mind off of it.
Right.
Which was great. And congratulations, Fran and Ryan.
Yay! Congratulations! Welcome to wedding. Good. I saw the pictures. They were it was a nice venue. It's very, very nice.
Beautiful venue, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a shameless plug actually. I'm gonna put some pictures on my Instagram.
There you go.
If anyone's interested, Hickey85.
There you go. Good. I follow. It's good stuff. So you should check it out. It's good time. So it's he posts a lot of pictures. My Instagram is not so much used. I don't post a lot on it just because
you should post more barbecue pictures. You're the barbecue king.
Actually, no, I'm not. No, I have friends of mine who are barbecue champions. Really? Oh God, yeah. My buddy Jason Gano, he started some restaurants in Denver. It's called GQ. He's legitimately a barbecue, a pit master. I do okay, but just for stuff around the house. But yeah, he's legit. His stuff is fantastic. So if anybody's listening who's ever in the Denver area, you should check out GQ Barbecue. Every once in a while, you'll see I'll wear their shirt. Today I decided to go with the Urge just because of last week's content. And actually, it was because it was the top one in the drawer. I have stacks of t-shirts. It was just the top one. I just picked up.
You just grabbed the top one.
Yeah, I just grabbed the top one. I mean, yeah. I have some work related ones, and I gotta be careful. I can't wear those because they get crappy about that. Hey, we got Lenny. Lenny's paying attention, and Neil. They're on the YouTube channel. Welcome, guys, and I'm glad you're listening. So, started out with a little bit of bad news with Joe, but anyway, I'm sorry to hear that, my friend. Hopefully,
yes, yeah, thank you, man. It's one of them things, happens. I'm looking at the good memories of my uncle, though.
Yeah. Well, if you got pictures and videos and stuff like that, that's what's kind of nice. I guess that's the one good thing about the social media landscape, I guess, is when people do pass away, there's a lot more chance you have video and audio and that kind of thing. Whereas when I was a kid, the stuff that my mom and I did, our first, when I was a kid going to baseball games and, when I was a kid. Those aren't recorded, right? Because it was
No.
1981, right? So nobody had a
Rambling
camcorder.
boxes for pictures.
I don't. You may have like an 8mm, like a reel-to-reel kind of thing. You may have some home videos, but nowadays with everybody having cameras in their pockets and people it's gonna be interesting seeing in like 50 years what that social media landscape looks like, right? So there'll be videos of everybody, and then as the people who are like the Gen Z kids are now getting into my age, right, hitting their 50s, how that's gonna look with capturing all these pictures and audio and selfies and StreamYards and TikToks, and it's going to be interesting to see in 40 or 50 years what's going on. Polaroids, yeah, exactly. Polaroids, old zip cameras, yeah, buddy. I remember those when I was a kid. So Joe has the list of the stuff. As you can see today, we do not have a guest on the show, which is okay, and we're going to try to.
Price is stuck with us.
Right, it's just us. You're just stuck with us, so nothing fun. So unfortunately, you're listening to Joe and I ramble on for 45 to 50 minutes or so. This time, we just decided, we're going to try to have a guest on when it's appropriate, but we don't want to have guests on every week. We'd rather just talk because, unfortunately, with having guests on, that can kind of, I don't want to say hijack. That's not a good word, but we want to listen to them and talk to them and have that organic conversation. So at the same time, it's one of those things where I want to let the guests come on and not have a stuck list of like questions. Like I don't want to have questions that we do in like court. We don't want to do that. We just want to let the conversation go. Right. So luckily we'll have these kinds of shows where it's just Joe and I talking about our week and seeing what's going on. And so, I did want to mention two things. I'm a fan of Shane Craig. He does a channel called Scary If Literal. And so if you're having the chance, check out his channel, especially if you're into foldables or duo. He does content really good if you're into the duo scene or the foldables or whatever. And I actually hit a contest giving away a no rev. So those leather cases, they're really high-end leather, nice cases. And I actually won one. So I've been in touch with them. So hopefully I'll get that for my duo too. So I'll actually have a leather case instead of just rocking the bumper, because I did drop this the other day. Luckily, they're expensive, but they look like they sent me a video on how they do the one that I got, the patina, and it's pretty cool. So I'm really excited. So many thanks to Shane Craig, and hopefully we can have him on the show at some point. And if you're listening to the channel, go check him out. Speaking of checking out channels, you should be, if you're not already, you should be, because shame on you if you're not. Check out the Purposely Pixel YouTube channel. Fantastic group of guys, Chad and Lenny and all them over there. Do yourself a favor. If you're into Pixel, you want to know more about it, have good reviews and just other content, not necessarily Pixel, check them out. Joe was even on the show. Did a good comparison video. It's fantastic. You should put it in your eyeballs and your ear holes. It's good stuff.
Big shout out to Neil actually in the chat. He's put his first video up recently.
Fantastic.
And it's really informative how you can get better battery life out of your Pixel 6 Pro. Some
Absolutely.
really good tips on there.
Yeah, and give him some love. Like I said, I mean, for a person who did his first show, you wouldn't have known. He seems like a pretty seasoned veteran. So way to go.
He's got the YouTube plant in there and everything.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So yeah, check that out. So Purposely Pixel, they give us a lot of love. They're supportive of our show, and check them out. Give them a sub, watch some videos, get some information, and listen to some content. It's good stuff.
Jump in them comments. We love the comments.
Yeah, make comments. Nothing about no spam comments. Actually, legitimate
spam comments.
Yeah, we don't want
none of the Telegram bots that you see everywhere at the moment.
Right. So yeah, check them out. Purposely Pixel. Check out their YouTube channel. Give them a shout out. Give them some love. Give them some watches. They're good folks over there, and they definitely are supportive and helpful with our show. So we appreciate it.
And if you're not into video, we've got a website as well, purposelypixel.com.
Yeah. Search it. The Googles. Do the Googles. Or if you really want to, you can do the Yahoo chat or the Yahoo searches. They still have those. I don't know.
A search engine of your choice, you'll find us.
Yeah, DuckDuckGo, Bing.
I hope so, anyway.
Whatever. It's all good. You can probably find something. I mean, use the internet. Just do the Googles. It's fine. Go look them up. Check out their website, purposelypixel.com. Check out the website. And then you can listen to the podcast. So you get the trifecta, right? It's kind of like the nuclear triad, right? I don't know if that's nobody knows what that is. Okay. Anyway, so you got the website, all right? You got the YouTube channel, and then you got our podcast. So check it out. Or like Lenny says, you can just add Jeeves, or just yell at Alexa. Just yell at Alexa. So that's the first bit of news, and we got some of that. And also the second bit of news is I picked up a little bit of a purchase the other day. I got myself a pair of Surface headphones. The Surface 2s, by the way, they are really nice. I like them. Most of all, I love the physical dials. I love having volume control and ANC on a physical dial. Plus, it's got Cortana. And I still, to this day, it drives me crazy that Cortana is not a thing. I understand why, totally get it. But man, I like having the fact when you put them on, it tells you how many hours, right? It doesn't tell you you have 43% battery. Well, what does that mean to normal people, right? What's
physical number, proper number.
Right. She tells you have 18 hours of battery, and then she also tells you what devices you're connected to. So far, I've only had them for a few hours, and they're really comfortable. And I'm looking forward to getting. So I bought those. I got those. They just literally show up this morning. So
having a physical wheel on it, it's just.
I think it's a fantastic.
I'm not sure about the touch controls on this.
I mean, maybe. And here's the thing. I think the Sony's probably sound better, and they're probably more comfortable. But I like having the design. I like having actual physical wheels. I just like that, including the touch. You get your little, as you can see, I have it hooked to a 3.5 mil. So it's pretty nice. So far, I'm really enjoying them, and I'm really liking them. So I'm not
going to do a headphone jack in there as well.
You got a headphone jack? Yeah, exactly. So that's cool. So that's what's going on with me. Other than that, it's just a beautiful day here in St. Louis. It's about 70 degrees, sunny. I saw, didn't it snow this week?
You know what? Yeah. I said it was an up and down week.
Yeah.
It's been crazy. Like, we've had the sun, and then it would just stop for a second, then snow would come for a little while.
Yeah.
It's mad.
Matt sent me a video. It's snowing.
The sun was shining, sun's beaming down, but it was cold. It's weird.
Now, to be honest, we've had snow in late March and early April in St. Louis. It's pretty rare. Is that kind of a thing in the UK that it can snow in end of March? I would think so, because the weather in the UK is kind of.
It's not unpredictable. It can change. I can remember one Easter a couple of years ago. We had a barbecue. It was lovely, but yeah, no year's the same.
Yeah, I don't know. I know the weather in the UK can get a little I guess drab. I guess it's the best way to describe it.
That's why in the UK you need a really good weather widget on your phone, because it's really important. You wake up in the morning, you're like, what's it going to be like today?
Right, and as opposed to when I went to Puerto Rico in February or last November, I don't know why. I'm sure they have weather people in Puerto Rico, but I'm pretty sure the weather forecast is okay, it's going to be 70 to 85 degrees, breezy. It's probably going to rain a little bit and sunny.
Yeah,
that's it. That's pretty much how it's going to be all week. It rains a little bit every day, but it's you get a hurricane occasionally, but that's coming. But the weather is just it's never going to snow, I don't think. It was fantastic. And actually, because it's my little Puerto Rico team baseball hat today. So, yeah, and Neil says it can snow in the summer. Huh. Yeah. Oh, God. Really? Oh, man. Now, I guess it would snow up north, like Northern Ireland or the north of the other country, but maybe all of it? I don't know. I don't know how it works, but if it snows, if it's
global warming, it's changed even more. It's just got more crazy.
Well, I just can't imagine being July and snow. That would freak me out. Now, if I was in Iceland or Greenland, I would not be freaked out. Northern Canada. But if I were in the UK, I would think if it's July, I would not have to worry about snow. But I guess it happens, so that sucks. Well, hopefully your weather as we move into April here. Hopefully the weather kind of cooperates and you start getting some warmer, less rainy, cruddy, snowy days. So let's hope.
Especially if you're golfing, you need some good weather, don't you?
Yeah, you can play in the rain. I have, but it's miserable. You just can't play in the thunder because they'll blow the horns and you can't have lightning and stuff. But other than that, so that's not bad. So that's been going on my weeks. Nothing crazy, just work as always. And now next week I'm going golfing in Mississippi. So there's a possibility that we may not have a show next Sunday. I don't know. It depends on Sunday how I can get back in time because it's in Mississippi. I have to drive back. So we'll let you know. We'll put something out on the website or something like that, or we'll let the people know. But I think I'll be okay. I won't be remote like I did that one time where I was at the lake, which I will. If I'm on vacation, I can get good Wi-Fi and I bring my laptop. We'll do the show and I'll be on vacation. I don't care. The show must go on. But there's a possibility that due to circumstances, there may not be a show Sunday afternoon at 3. So we'll have to wait and see. Other than that, I guess that's housekeeping for the first 15 minutes. That's not too bad. So what do we have on the agenda to talk about? Let's start with our first topic. What do you have? We have a list.
We've got to talk about the World Cup. I know it's not tech, but we just have to talk about it.
Okay.
So England have drawn the USA in their group.
So what? We're not going to win.
So what? We're going to be enemies that day.
No, that's a goal. And no, you don't want, because nobody in the United States cares. Nobody gives a shit.
Yes, they do.
No, not really. Well,
they care about the ladies' team, the women's team. They care about
the women's team's pretty good, which is funny because I would have thought the English women's team would be pretty good. Like the truth, I would think that
they are pretty good. To be fair,
countries that have traditionally good, strong football teams for men, I would have thought would have strong women's teams, and it doesn't seem to be 1-to-1, right? If like Italy and these countries that are pretty good, like. I would think England have a really good women's team. I can tell you, I don't watch the Women's World Cup. It's not because I just don't watch a lot of football to begin with.
You should.
I should.
You're going soon, aren't you, actually?
Well, baseball season's starting, so you can kiss all that shit goodbye because I'm not going to watch anything unless it's streamed.
No, you said you're getting a team.
We're getting a Major League Soccer team. Yeah, the St. Louis FC, St. Louis City FC. Right. So I'll go to the games, but I don't know how the broadcasting is going to be. I don't know how that's going to work. And I, but for that day, we will be, I guess I will tacitly cheer for the United States. Although I have no idea who's on the team and I haven't followed U.S. World Cup soccer since Tony Meola was the goaltender back in like 94. I did go to a match. Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. I did go to a match, and boy, it was in 1994. The World Cup was in the United States, and there was a match in Orlando, Florida. I think it was between Holland and Ireland. I'm pretty sure. Holland, it was nuts. Oh yeah, the Dutch won, but it was nuts. I'm like, this is stupid. Like, it's more. It's not so much about the what's going on the pitch. It's more about what's going on in the crowd. And what was going on in the crowd was, I don't want to say hooliganism because I don't think it was that bad. But there were some chip. You have to understand, American sports aren't like that. Like, we don't have a such thing as hooliganism in the United States. Like baseball games. I mean, you go to some stadiums, there are rowdier crowds than others. But like fights breaking out in the stands between fans, there may be isolated incidents, but I can't imagine a whole section of people getting stupid. So that's definitely a English thing or a European
stadium full of US fans and English fans. I feel like I might get targeted. People hate us, both of us.
I don't think so. Because again, like I said, I mean, I think American fans would go to the World Cup if it was UK, England. I think they would have a lot of fun. Because again, it's not a big deal to us. I mean, we care. It's like the Olympics. We care when every 4 years when it comes up, but other than that, we don't really think about it that much. MLS is fairly popular, but as opposed to American football, hockey, basketball, baseball, I mean, soccer in the United States was what we would call it. Doesn't really move the needle. So I don't think if you went there and you were wearing like the 3 lions, I don't think people even know what the hell you were wearing.
Yeah.
Right. They don't pay attention. That's a little nuance that Americans probably wouldn't pick up on. And I don't think anybody would really give you too much trouble. But it's cool that they're drawing the same group. So that means they're going to play in the opening round, whatever.
And the other team in our group is Iran.
Those are always good matches, right? The United States and Iran. Oh boy.
Then it's between Ukraine, Wales, or Scotland. So it's going to be an interesting group.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it'll be a good time.
England to top that, obviously.
I'm actually surprised the United States qualified. They usually don't.
Bad? You're not bad.
No, we're not good either. We're kind of like, eh.
Yeah. I was trying to do the half cup, half full, half empty thing.
No, we need to be real on the show. It's okay. So that's good. I'm glad. I'm actually might watch. I don't know where's the host country. I don't know where it's at this year.
We should do a live podcast when we play.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll stream it live. We'll do it live. We'll watch it.
Yeah, why not?
For sure. I mean, I won't. I don't even know what it is. I didn't even know that was even a thing. Who knew? So that's cool. Well, good. I mean, that'd be fun. But I don't think anybody's going to be actively hating on you because you're an English fan.
England fan.
So that's good. So I guess, yeah. Where's the host country? Do we know? I don't have a clue.
Qatar.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. It's in the winter this year.
Well, yeah, because
So
if they play the summer, it's like 430 degrees outside.
Yeah.
People will be dropping dead. I mean, they can't.
It's gonna be mad.
Well, that'd be cool. So that's good. All right. So sounds fun. Yeah, we'll watch it. Well, maybe we'll do a live stream. That'd be kind of fun. So, and like Lenny says, he had no idea we had a World Cup going on. That's okay. See what I'm saying? It's Lenny gets it. And Chad says,
that'll change if you guys win.
I guess. Yeah, and then we'll play somebody else and get our butts whipped, and then we'll be out, and then we're like, okay, we're going back to Major League Baseball.
We don't like soccer anyway.
Oh yeah, soccer sucks. Yeah. That's for the English people. They like the soccers, so that's cool. Well, yeah, so good. World Cup's coming up, so good. Yeah, that's it'll be a lot of fun. We'll see how it goes, and USA, I guess, sure. Just if you're an American fan, you might want to pick another team you want to cheer for, just in case. Just have a backup in case the Americans don't make it past the round of 16. Well, that's cool. Good deal. So you're still on your Pixel. I forgot. Do you have the 6 or the 6? I thought you have a 6 Pro, don't you?
Oh yeah, I had to go 6 Pro because for me it's important to have that telephoto, and it is awesome. Like the 4x telephoto is brilliant, really, really good. Oh,
yeah, that's right. I got the 6. Again, I'm not a big.
I'll shove some pictures on my Instagram. You'll see.
Yeah, I'm camera isn't really the biggest thing for me. It's quasi important. I don't take a lot of pictures. And then, oh boy, well, it's time to end the podcast. And DT showed up. Hi, DT. He said, "Hey." He says, "Hey, Joe." You know how he ignored me? Yeah.
No, he didn't.
So what?
He said, "It's a breath of fresh air seeing your beautiful face." He said.
No, I came in late. That's okay. Well, I love a DT. Hopefully he's doing well. I know he's doing medical school. Pretty sure he was trying to kill himself last year because he was so stressed out about it. God love him. Oh man. It was already hard enough, and then he was in medical school. Good Lord, man. God love you. DT, you're the man. I could not go to medical school, especially during a pandemic. You are a man amongst children. Yeah, that's right. Okay, that sounded right. Okay, I had to think about that for a second. So, Aditya, hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully studies are going well. Hopefully you get some mental health breaks, and hopefully you're getting good. I mean, he's only been going to medical school for like 5 years. I don't know how long you have to go to that. I don't know how long it is. It just seems like he's been doing it for a while. So hopefully everything is going well, and it's good to see. It
feels even longer for him.
Yeah. So he'll keep it PG. This channel sponsors. It's just Extreme Skins. Hey, we don't have a banner for them, but I guess we haven't even talked to them about it. But Extreme Skins, check them out. We're kind of like, we're just going to steal them.
They're fantastic, Extreme Skins.
Yeah. D-Brand, who? Never heard of her. Anyway, go check them out. Extremeskins.co.uk. Go check them out if you want your skins. Get them. Let them know how much you love them. And good prices, delivery. And if you live in the United States, they even deliver there, and they don't have any kind of discrimination. They deliver to the United States.
The customer service is really good as well. The whole company's great.
I made a mistake one time. I ordered the wrong skin. Emailed them, and within I think within 4 or 5 hours they responded back. Okay, no problem. Cancel the order. Big deal. And that was it. So yeah, check them out. Extremeskins.co.uk. Good stuff. They even have duo skins, so you might have your phone. If you have a phone that you may not think they would actually have to, they may not have a skin for it. You'd be surprised. I didn't think they'd ever do Duo 2 and Duo skins, and they did. I don't think it had anything to do with me, although I'm going to take credit for it because it just sounds fun.
You put pressure on, didn't you?
I definitely wanted one. Yeah, it's for sure. So they do all sorts of phones. Check them out. Good prices. If they ship worldwide, check them out. Extremeskins.co.uk. Give them a shout out. Let them know we sent you. Deals, all that kind of stuff. So Chad has a question. He said, "Hey guys, tell us your favorite things are to do with the Pixel and why you'd recommend it." So I'll let Joe start with that since he's already discussed the telephoto. But what else about your Pixel
Well,
that you use?
without a doubt, the camera system is fantastic. The main lens is really, really good. I don't think much of the ultra wide, to be honest, but it's decent enough. But the main lens, it's killer. It's so good. It's really fluid. Like, if you've had a Pixel before, you know what Pixel launcher's like. It's really fluid. You got the extra things like speech to text. That's really good. I don't use that much though because I feel weird talking to my phone.
Yeah,
you've got that option, which is really good. The translation's really good as well in real time. I've tested it out with one of my colleagues at work. She's Portuguese. She was quite impressed actually.
Oh yeah, if you're traveling, especially, or if you have a coworker who speaks, I mean, it looks. I haven't really tested that feature as much because I just haven't had a chance to. But yeah, I mean, that's what I like most about the Pixels. One, you're gonna, and I know Samsung's done a lot better job, which is good with updates, right? So Pixel used to be like, timely updates. What I like about the Pixels is the camera, obviously. Although I don't take a lot of pictures, it just isn't right. That's not the primary focus of my device. I do like the fact that the feature updates, right? So the live transcribe, things are going to come to Pixel first. Like the other day, I had my Pixel with me because my Duo I change them out every once in a while. I went to a grocery store, and I guess they had music at the grocery. I don't know why they do that. Do they have that in the UK? Grocery stores have like music playing in the background, like music, like songs, like regular like radio. It's weird. I don't know. So I was in a store, and I guess a song was playing. I didn't even hear the song because I wasn't paying attention because I was looking at my phone to get some stuff I was going to pick up. And I noticed that the song that was playing, it picked it up and displayed it on the bottom. It said what it was.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah.
I was like, that's kind of cool. A little creepy because it's listening. It's like, I don't know if I like that necessarily. But it was kind of cool because I guess if I were in an environment where I was in a place where I heard a song, I go, well, I really like that song. I want to. It automatically showed on the lock screen. That kind of stuff is what I like about my Pixel. I like the fact that, I like the feature updates. I like the fact that Google allows that phone will have all their good stuff on it first. And I do like the design. I like the old Pixels. I had a Pixel 4a 5G. I really liked the phone. I liked having a headphone jack. Yeah, and I like the design. I like the fact that it's unique. That's it's a unique camera housing. But the size is fine. I just love I love it. I love using it. And honest to God, if I didn't have the Duo, which is the phone I use the most of all, I would rock a Pixel. And again, I've had Pixels. I've had a 3A. I've had a 4A 5G. I didn't get a 5. I skipped it. And then I bought the 6. And I just love it. I just, like I said, because I have the Duo, I don't use it as much as I ought. Fantastic. The only thing I don't like is obviously no expandable storage. Neither does the Duo. I'd like a headphone jack. I mean, that's why I went with the 4A 5G because it had a headphone jack. That's why I didn't buy the 4XL. And I did have a 4XL. I love the Soli radar on the 4XL. I thought it was fantastic. And that's another thing. The things I don't like about this is I don't like the fingerprint reader. It's okay. It's better. I don't care for it. And I want face unlock.
Yeah,
I like having that.
Hopefully. Fingers
crossed. I hope so. And probably on the 6 Pro. But if you've got a camera, and again, it's a convenience thing. If you want security, you shouldn't be even using a thumbprint. You should be using a passcode or a PIN, right? If you're really security conscious. I mean, I will tell you that I just using it, I mean, it unlocks pretty quick. It's gotten better. Not the fastest, but other than that, the phone's solid. I mean, the speakers are good. The screen is nice. I like the feature. Yeah, and then now you can add it to a playlist. So that's kind of cool too. So yeah, that's the kind of things that you don't get in on any other device that I've ever used that I really enjoy about using my Pixel. I really, really get into that. And so I'm happy with it. And also I like the price. At $599, there's not many flagship style kind of devices that really can deliver what the Pixel 6 gives you at that price point. It's really,
a lot of people would argue the 6 Pro is not worth the extra money, but I think it is because of the telephoto. I think it's that good.
Yeah.
The feature mentions it there. It's one of the best.
The telephoto on the Pixel 6 Pro, though, that puts most. I agree, and I don't like that as an argument. generally, when it comes to phones and prices and people saying, well, it's not worth it for the money. To me, a Tesla is not worth it for the money. I don't want to pay 70 grand for an electric. You know what I mean? So to sit there and have that argument where it's, well, I don't think that it's worth the money. Well, it's not your money.
To the individual, isn't it?
Right. Yeah. It's up to the individual and your budget. I mean, I could have probably bought cheaper headphones than the Surface 2 Pros or the Surface. Listen to me, Surface 2 Pros. I'm not even talking. I'm talking in my head. Surface headphones too. I could have got. There were other brands that were $90, $100, and I could have gone higher. I could have got the Bose 700s or the XM4s, right, and spent $350. So I don't like that as a general argument when it comes to pricing. Even on Apple stuff, everybody complains about Apple prices being high. Well, it's you don't have to buy it. You can. There are other options. You can. These headphones will pair to an iPhone. Now, are they the same feature? No, not necessarily. But I just, like I said, when I hear that argument where people say the 6 Pro is $899, it's not worth it. Well, it may not be worth it to you.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
We just got the OnePlus 10 Pro just launched in the United States, and it's $899. And I would argue, to me, the Pixel $899 is still superior to the OnePlus 10 Pro.
Oh, it's a really competitive price, really, for what you're getting. It's really competitive. Right,
and everybody's complaining about the lack of storage options. That's the only problem I have with is if you're selling a phone that's doing 8K video, 128 is really, really hard to swallow. The RAM. Tell me that you noticed the difference between 8 gig and 12 gig of RAM. I wish you would tell me that you really know, because I could hand you a phone in a blind taste test, and you would have no clue which one was the 8 and 12.
Pixel 5 was smooth as butter.
So I agree with you. I hear that comment that I didn't get the Pro because, to me, the telephoto wasn't something I wanted to upsell for $300. It just wasn't a thing for me. And I liked the size of the 6, so I went with that. Now, I have run into a problem where if I needed a telephoto, I'm definitely a little bit doing the croppy crops, right? I'm not getting the proper telephoto. But honestly, for my use case, it doesn't come up very often. And so that's just like anything else. If you're buying a car, you buy for your use case. You buy for what you need.
Yeah.
And for you knew for a fact that the 6 is a deal breaker because of the lack of telephoto.
Oh,
so
definitely.
You knew it, right? And so that's what and that's why you do some research ahead of time.
But then, to be honest, I wouldn't recommend the Pixel 6 Pro to most people. In fact, I wouldn't even recommend the Pixel 6, probably the 5A.
Oh yeah, or even the 4A 5G if you can find one of those used.
Exactly. Well,
still a solid phone. And plus, if you really dig in a headphone jack, there's your play, right? So I mean, that's the beauty of it. Or you can go to other mid-range phones, right? So, and I agree with Neil, 100%. He's 100 in, man. Pixel 6 Pro over OnePlus 10 Pro. And that's not to say that OnePlus 10 Pro is a bad phone. I like OnePlus phones. I'm OG OnePlus, right? I had a OnePlus One. I used to rock CyanogenMod, now Lineage, right? I used to mod my phones. I was a big, huge fan of OnePlus back in the day. I had a 3T and a 5 and a 6 and a 7T, and I even had the 9 Pro for a couple of months. So I get it, and so, but again, it's one of those things where you have to make the decision whether or not the OnePlus.
Yeah, what's important to you.
Right. And the fact that they, you can make the argument that they've fallen off, right? They've lost their way. Yeah, maybe so. I don't know. To me, I think as many phones that can be in the market, the better. That's why I'm excited about the Nothing thing. Although I think in the United States, Nothing is dead on arrival because nobody's going to know about it. They won't market the phone. They won't advertise the phone, and it won't be in carrier stores.
You ain't getting nothing.
And in the United States, that's a death sentence. Period. And a story. I don't care how good the phone is. I don't care if it comes in at $499.
Google with this
phone. You see Google ads. There's 3 companies you see ads for: Google, Apple, Samsung. Surprisingly, now Moto, and the only reason I think the Moto in the United States has got its market share is 1, LG went bye-bye, and 2 is they're cheap, right? You can pick them up. But I haven't seen a Moto commercial. I can't remember the last time, but boy, I saw more fold flip commercials. I saw iPhone commercials constantly, and I see Google Pixel commercials all the time. They're in movie theaters and everything else. If you do not tell people a phone exists, they're not going to buy it.
No.
You're already up a hill. You're in the United States. You're already downhill anyway. Because if you don't have an Apple or a Samsung, you're already fight. You're like my old boss said. You're like a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest, right? You're already behind.
But let's face it, it's mostly the phones that sell are the ones through the carriers anyway, isn't it? So it's
Right.
whatever they're going to push.
In the United States, and that's going to be Samsung and Apple because that's where the margins are, and that's what I mean. Samsung and Apple pay money for carriers to push phones. So in the U.S., the nothing phone will not move, and I don't, and it's not, and I say that with reservation, not because I want it to not move. I want it to be successful. I want HTC, LG, nothing, all that stuff. I want Xiaomi's to be available. I want really Xiaomi and Oppo and Vivo and Realme and Redmi to be available at a Best Buy.
That's what I like about Xiaomi, really pushing the barriers with Samsung. They're really pushing them, I think.
Right. But in the United States, I mean, maybe, it gets play. I want to see it succeed, but I just, like I said, I just honestly, without a real push, I don't see how nothing is going to crack into any kind of meaningful market. Hopefully we'll see. I hope it's successful because I did like the Essential phone. I did like that phone.
So you made a good point there with Moto. The desktop mode on it is brilliant. Ready for?
Oh, ready for? Yeah, ready for. Again, a great feature.
One's got a good video on it as well.
Right. And I hope that becomes a thing. But again, I don't think most people use that feature. I don't think most people who are buying Moto phones, if they're buying phones in that $300 to $500,
buying for that, really,
I don't think they even know it exists. And if it does exist, are they really leveraging that as a use? That's the thing I say. It's like and I guess I can understand these companies do that. They say, hey, nobody's using this stuff, so why keep pushing it, right? Like the Moto mods, they didn't sell a lot, so why keep making Moto mods? It's a fantastic feature. But at the end of the day, it's like if nobody uses it and nobody's even heard of it, I guarantee you, take 100 people at random and ask them if they ever heard of Ready For and tell them what it does.
Even Dex with Samsung, obviously Samsung's massive. I ask people, have you used Dex?
What's that?
Huh? What's that? I'm like, it's an amazing feature on your phone. You've never used it.
No. I mean, and so, and then Lenny's point here, the only difference between longevity of the Pixel 6, you got the new Tensor chip, you got the updated camera, and exactly. And also, that's another thing. Everybody's kind of given, I know people have had issues with the Pixel 6 and Pro having issues and Wi-Fi. It's a new chip. Give them a break. I mean, when they had the Soli radar, I remember for the first couple of months, banking apps wouldn't authenticate with it. The Soli wouldn't work. So you had US Bank or Bank of America, you couldn't log in. And since you didn't have any other authentication method, you didn't have a fingerprint scanner, you were having to type in your password every time you wanted to log into your bank. And then they fixed it. So, and I think Google will fix it. And it's a brand new chip. I mean, you got to give them a little bit of a break there. It doesn't mean it doesn't, right. And it doesn't mean give them a pass, still be on them, but you understand it. It's all brand new stuff. They're kind of pushing going on. Yeah. Lack of advertising. Oh boy. Do you have a South Korean company from LG, again, one of the best phones that you can make. And just, it was a marketing problem. And the fact that the UI was kind of like always, and plus their prices always seemed for their phones seemed to be high. Their pricing was a little not aggressive. It was a problem.
Yeah. That's what's good about the Pixels. Again, the pricing point is good.
Right. The brands like US soccer team, nobody cares. That's the problem. They're fantastic, but nobody cares about it. I suspect nothing will fail in the U.S. Pay as a master building high his reputation as OnePlus has gained him a loyal following. Right. That's it. The barrier to entry in the United States and North America is carriers. And if that nothing phone is not available in T-Mobile, AT&T, or Verizon, it's done. It is done. There's no chance. It'll be a phone that people maybe heard about, maybe see. You might see occasionally. I mean, look at OnePlus. OnePlus had the carrier brand through T-Mobile, right? How many people do you know that I don't know any? They don't sell them in AT&T and Verizon stores. And now here's the OnePlus 9 Pro. They didn't sell that. And the 9 and the 10 sure as hell ain't going to be in a carrier store. It's not going to be in a commercial. So how can you possibly get any traction in the United States when nobody knows what your phone is?
Yeah. The thing is with BBK, their baby now is Oppo.
Right.
They're pushing the Oppo brand more.
So I think these carriers, I think they just have created this this global phone for OnePlus, but I honestly think Xiaomi and Realme and Oppo and Vivo and Redmi and Realme, they don't care about the American market. They realize it's a loss. It's all iPhone.
Yeah,
Basically
that's
is what
the
it is.
problem.
It's
That's the
iPhone
stumbling
and
block, isn't it?
Samsung and some Moto sprinkled in there just to keep it real, and that's all there is. And so for companies like that, I think they've kind of just they've realized that cracking that market is not possible, or it's possible, but you're already fighting an uphill battle, and you're going to have to throw a whole bunch of money at it. And why do that when you have successful brands? And plus, if you're a company like Xiaomi, once Americans find out, relations between U.S. and China are at the worst they've ever been politically.
Yeah, definitely.
And once they find out, once they tie Huawei to Xiaomi to everything else, I think that's going to do it for them. I think
Huawei's a big shame because I'm a big fan of Huawei.
I don't care what anybody says. I love Huawei phones, and I think
hardware.
Personally, Huawei makes the best physical handsets of anybody I've ever seen. Their phones are better than, and I would love to get a chance to get it.
They were really pushing Samsung, really pushing them.
Matter of fact, they were like literally going to announce launching the phones in U.S. carrier stores. And literally that day, the Orange Wonder came in and swooped in and said, "Nope, we're putting them on the entity list."
They have got the money.
Oh yeah, right. And then it was like literally within the week, AT&T and Best Buy were actually going to carry. I think it was either the Mate 30 or the P30 in their stores. And then Trump put them on the entity list, and that was the end of it. It was all over. Right. And ever since then, it's been a nightmare. But I think that's the problem with these other brands is I think breaking the United States is going to be, it's such an uphill battle. Why do it? And so I think we're going to run into that problem. And Neil says the hype of the OnePlus 10 Pro went when it got released in China. Yeah. I mean, when you have and I think that's the comment that I have, Neil, is that's because OnePlus and BBK isn't really focused on an American market. They have ceded the hill. The hill belongs to iOS and Samsung. That's it. They have ceded the loss. They realize that they're not going to happen. And so we got Jake. Jake makes I had the Ultra 22 for about 2 weeks and it was great, but I don't like the UI. I'm thinking about trading in for the iPhone 13 Max. The Pixel 6, but worry about the battery life, video recording quality. If you're talking about video on an iPhone, you might as well just if video quality is your thing, get an iPhone.
Yeah.
I don't care. I mean, I ain't even gonna lie. I'm not even no cap on this show. I don't own an iPhone. I've had iPhones. Well, I have a bank iPhone. It's an iPhone 8. But as far as video, there's nothing there's close. Right? There's close. But the iPhone 13 Pro Max video-wise, there's nothing in the Android side that even comes close, I don't think.
If there is most important things to him, battery life and video, then
you go for the iPhone. You may, but the problem is if you had an issue with One UI, you may not like iOS because it's pretty restrictive and there are some quirks to it. Using an iPhone takes muscle memory. You have to get used to the UI and then in the ecosystem and all that kind of stuff that goes with it. But yeah, if you're looking at a phone for video recording and battery life for your things, I can't imagine a person not being happy with an iPhone 13 Pro Max.
Definitely.
I just don't see that being a problem, and that's coming from a hardcore Android guy.
Unless they've got really small arms and they can't carry it.
Little T-Rex arms. Yeah. Hardware-wise, I agree. I agree. And they're still pushing boundaries. I would say that their P50 Pocket is probably the best clamshell foldable that's made. Right, it's like our podcast. It's the best clamshell you're never going to see, right? Because it's
Honor's not part of Huawei, but they suspiciously look very similar to Huawei stuff.
Well, eventually they are, and eventually that Americans will they'll get put on the entity list too, and that's the end of it. So
eventually, I think so. Yeah,
which is a real shame. I don't like that generally, but iPhone again. Lenny can't argue with that. Lenny's got it right. It's the video king. I mean, again, this is the statement that I made earlier.
Pixel as well,
right? And this is the statement I made. Everybody has to decide what is their use case, their workflow, what they need. Then you need to look at those options. So the first thing when everybody asks me about phone recommendations, the first question out of my mouth is always, what are the two most important things your smartphone or mobile device does or needs to do for you? And if they say, like Jake said, Well, I want battery life and I want video. iPhone.
No brainer.
Just go there. Just go there, because you're not going to be happy with anything else. And that's something, if you're a true tech ambassador and a true tech fan and a true wanting to help people who ask you these questions, I think you have to be willing to stretch your boundaries. And you can't be a homer for your team. Right. And if it happens to be if a Surface, like I have a Surface Duo 2, I love it. It works for me. Most people would never use a Surface, and if they use the Surface Duo for 2 weeks, they would throw it out a window, because it requires so much of a paradigm shift in how you use a phone and interact with your phone. It's just people aren't going to do it.
I think it's so personal though. Until you try it, sometimes it's hard to tell as well.
Right, but I mean, I don't recommend.
I get a day out of the Pixel 6 Pro, but yeah. I don't know if you will.
No.
How do I know? I can.
And then on top of it, too, I can't recommend a Duo to anybody. I mean, honest to God, and I'm one of the biggest Duo shills you can imagine. And I can't recommend it to people because I know most people, what they're doing won't fit that. It requires such a shift in how you work and how you use a device. It's too hard. And I think that's the problem with people. And this is the only thing I would say to people like Jake, who asked the question. He made a comment, very true. He loves stock Android over iOS as long as you can get through that. Yeah. Again, that doesn't mean you can't get a Pixel, but you have to understand, it's like you have to be able to be willing to use the device and really give it with an open mind. I think a lot of people don't do that. I think they're so used to their Moto, they're so used to their LG or their iPhone, and they get so used to it, and they're not willing to understand that it takes about a good 30 days to really kind of, like, even when I brought the first Duo, it took a while for me to get used to, like, opening the phone, closing the phone, like, flipping it around and making a phone call. And it was weird. It was awkward. And I actually didn't like it at first, to be honest with you. I really didn't.
You need to give it time, didn't you?
But there's still problems with it. There's still times where it's nice just having my Pixel, where I can just grab it, throw a call, it's cool, right? But that's the beauty of it. So
there's always adjustment though. Like when I went from my Huawei P20 Pro to my Pixel 5, I had a physical fingerprint scanner on the front, and I used to navigate the phone with that fingerprint scanner.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I loved the Pixel 5, but when I first got it, I kept touching the screen there to move it around, and it wasn't working for me, obviously. So I had to adjust.
Yeah, it just takes some time. And I think people, after the first couple of days, they start getting frustrated and they're not used to it, and they kind of bail out on it, which is fine. And Aditya's comment, he really wants to do, but he wants to run Windows. It's never happening. It's not going to happen. They can't get Windows to. They tried with the Neo, and they had to shelf that Windows project because they can't get it to work on a mobile. I don't think, and that's not what Microsoft wants to do. I don't think generally they want to have a small phone style form factor on a phone like the Duo. I know there is a project currently going on where somebody is working on getting Windows 11 running on a Duo, and it does work in concept. I mean, it's obviously pretty rough, but you can also get Windows 10 to work on a Lumia 950. So there's always going to be somebody out there, but I think as a general rule, I don't think Microsoft is going to leverage a mobile Duo Neo device with a build of Windows. Maybe that changes with Windows 11, Windows 12. I don't know. I would like to see it too. I would prefer having Windows on the Duo. I would like to have Windows, but there's some limitations there as well. So it's kind of a mixed bag, right? I think people understand there isn't one solution, right? You may get benefits, but there's disadvantages. So there's trade-offs, right? You can get Windows 10 or Windows 11 on a Duo, but then you can't do this, right? I'm kind of bummed about the Neo. I would have liked to have a Surface Neo. That would have been kind of sweet. So I actually kind of am bummed by that, but we'll see how it goes.
Talking about changing operating systems, I've got a really old laptop. It was running slow as, and I've put Chrome Flex OS on it. It's actually breathed a little bit of life into the laptop. It's usable now.
Right. And that's what you can do. I mean, that's when you get these lighter weight operating systems. You can kind of make older hardware work. And like he's commented, I personally think the fingerprint on the back is the most. I do. Not many people have it anymore, which is kind of a shame. And I actually still enjoy. That's why I like the Duo, having the thumb mounted scanner. I really like that as opposed to a fingerprint on the screen. I think it's naturally better. If you're right-handed, if you're left-handed, then you'd be picking it up and it'd be on the opposite side, right? So, not many people are left-handed, obviously, but yeah, I still think it's good. In Jake's comment, it was an Android user. If you took a break from it, switched to iPhone 12 and now 13 Pro Max. And they do, and Jake, I think, is running into a little bit of FOMO, right? So he used to use Android and he went to iPhone. I like iPhone. I mean, I like them both. I mean, I've used my daughter's iPhone, playing around with it, and I like it. The animations are a little slower, but I think it looks sharp. I think the screens look great. I like using an iPhone. I ain't gonna lie to you. There's some things I don't like about the UI.
I can appreciate the screens. I can appreciate the hardware on them, but I just can't get on with.
I mean, it's just tough.
Yeah.
And so, of course, I make a fair point of DTA. That's because I'm awesome. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not awesome. I'm just, like I said, if you can get a Duo, great. It's one of those things, and I agree. The fingerprint scanners on the back are a physical fingerprint scanner is always going to be better for me, and I agree with that. And I agree with that. And so, one of the disadvantages. That's why it'd be nice if the Pixel series eventually they have Face Unlock, because it gives you just another way to get into your phone when you really don't feel like going through all that trouble. Well, Joe, we are at 51 minutes.
Yeah.
So we're over our time. So
51 minutes of me and you.
I know. Who's listening? God, I know.
People left 25 minutes ago.
They left 10 minutes into the show starting, so they've been gone for quite a while, my friend.
There's like no guest, no one.
Right. No one. Nobody. I'm going to have to listen to these two Muppets. Forget it. I ain't listening to these two. So that is going to be our show for this Sunday, because we're trying to keep the shows around the 50-minute mark. Again, purposelypixel.com, the Purposely Pixel YouTube channel. Check it out. Our sponsor, extremeskins.co.uk. Check them out. And again, Neil says, geez, that went quick. Yeah, it's always quick when you're having fun. We're having a blast. And for everybody in the chat, Chad and Neil and Lenny and Nadisi and anybody who happens to listen to this podcast afterwards, thank you so much for spending your Sunday. I know that's a lot of quality time with family, and it's a day of relaxing and resting. Or if you're working, you may be working. Try to relax and try to enjoy your tech and try to enjoy your lives. And, again, we had a little bit of an issue with Joe and his uncle. So hopefully his family can find some peace in the remembrance of Joe's uncle and good stuff like that. And I don't want to bum the show out a little bit, but it's, it's important. We are people at the end of the day, right? It's great to talk about tech, but we have lives and we have stressors and we have things that we have to deal with, and family and children and wives and work and husbands and all that stuff. So we do all that. So hopefully this gives you about an hour kind of maybe disconnecting from that and enjoying the tech and really kind of just listening to us just yammer on about stuff that we like to do. Not just tech, food, sport, whatever. And then again, I can't thank enough to the folks over at Purposely Pixel and Lenny and all them and Neil and everybody over that team that has allowed us and gives us a platform to do our show. So thank you to them. Joe, anything final you want to talk about?
No, just to say thanks to the guys watching us live. Appreciate that. Thank you, Clint, for saying it's a good show. Very
Absolutely.
Nice.
And the DTA, he needs some more energy. Hopefully he's taking care of it. So that'll be it for the show. We will be hopefully back next Sunday. That's the plan. I will let folks know if in case they I don't get back in time. And for myself and for Joe, thank you for listening to the Nomad Tech Project. We really appreciate you guys taking your time and listening. Download them on your Google Podcasts and your Apple Podcasts and your StreamYard. I mean, not StreamYard, but all the other good stuff.
On Amazon as well.
Amazon, and then Pocket. I use Podcast Addict. It works great on there. And actually, the other day I downloaded our podcast from my Lumia 950 as a podcasted app. It works on a Windows phone. So for the two people out there using a Windows phone, you can still find us. So we really appreciate you listening and tuning in. Be back next Sunday and every Sunday around 3 p.m. for our show. And as always, we love you guys. Take care of yourself. Enjoy your tech. Have a good week. And we'll see you guys again next Sunday for another Nomad Tech Project.
Goodbye.
Take care. Bye, everybody.